Hello, I'm your host, Mr. Jamie, and welcome to part 3 of 3D computer animation trains. You will need to have done parts 1 and 2 before you do this. Now, once you've launched Animator, then click File and Open and locate your train file from before. That's the .an8 file, not the video we made. Open that file, click View, then click Bottom. Use your select arrow and left click one of the large axles and then right click on the two wheels with that axle. That will select both. Click Edit, Copy, and then Object, New. And then click View, then All, click Edit, then Paste. And there our wheels are. Use your Move tool to center it in all the views. Click Settings, then Object, and we're going to name this Large Wheel. Then click Object, and then click Object 01 to go back to the full train. Now remember, to make things move, we need to separate all moving parts, which in this case are the wheels. Now click Settings, then Object, and we're going to go ahead and name this Full Train, F-U-L-L. And use your Mass Select tool. Click and drag the select box over the entire train. We want to select all of it. And then you're going to click Edit, Copy, Object, New, and Edit, Paste. So we've just made a full copy of the train. But now we're going to change it because we need to make this into just the body. So with our select arrow, you want to delete the 3 large axles and the wheels with them. Just do it one at a time. Select an axle, delete. You hit delete on your keyboard. Select the wheels, hit delete until they're all gone. If you're using DEL at the end of a number pad, you may have to turn off number lock to get delete to work. Then click Settings, then Object. We're going to name this Train Body and click OK. Click View, then Front, then View, then All. That puts our views back. Now get your Add Sphere tool. We're going to make some smoke for our train. And with your Sphere tool, drag in left view to add a sphere. Make a nice round circle. Make it big enough to fit basically the length of the top of the smokestack. As you see in the picture, you can use the Grow tool if you need to resize it. Not the Stretch tool, but the Grow tool as circled on the screen here. Now we're going to make our smoke color. So click the Materials Editor, the 4 dots at the top. It's circled on the screen. Double click New on the under all the color circles, and then change the number on that window where it says trans. That's short for transparency. Change it to 0.3. Click OK. Then you will click Apply. Your sphere should be selected. If it's not, use your select arrow to select it before clicking Apply, and that will apply it. Now we need to click Edit, then Cut. This is assuming your sphere is still selected. If it's not selected, use your select arrow to select it. Edit, then Cut, then Object, then Full Train. Click Edit, then Paste. Click the eyeball tool there at the top on the toolbar and use the Move tool under that in front and left views to move the view down so we can see up above the train. Now use the Move tool to position the sphere above the smokestack. And then we're going to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. And use the Move tool to move the copy of the sphere over and up a little higher. Repeat that, Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, and use the Move tool to move it over. Now notice we didn't hit Paste twice. If you hit Paste twice, it will move over and not be exactly where it was before. It's better if you copy it again. Now click Object and then New. And then we're going to click Edit, then Paste. Because we cut it, it's still in memory of the computer and we copied it in the last one. So now use your Move tool and center it in all views. Click Settings, then Object. We're going to call it Smoke Ball. Click Mode, and then Figure. And now we're ready to make bones. That may sound weird for a train, but remember, bones are really just animation controllers. They control the animation. So why don't we go ahead and click File, then Save. It's always to do that frequently. And then do View, then All. Use your select arrow to click on the root bone, that little blue triangle in the middle. Go to Settings, then Figure. Change the name Figure 01 to say Train. That will be the name of our figure. And click OK. And we're ready to build our controllers, or bones. Not many trains have bones. It's an organic train, yeah. All right, you need your new bone tool. Click the root bone to add the new bone. And I'm seeing I forgot to circle that. The new bone tool is the third up on the left from the bottom. Click Build, and then Object, and then choose Full Train, and click OK. The train will appear. Use your Move tool to position it correctly. You can kind of how you see it on the screen. It doesn't have to be exact. Just remember how it's set. Now, with the new bone tool, click the dot of the bone to add a new bone. Use the bone rotate tool and drag to rotate that until it's pointing to the right. Use the new bone tool, click the dot of that bone to add a new bone. Use the bone rotate tool and rotate it downward, pointing at the wheel axle. Use your grow bone tool and drag it to lengthen that bone until it reaches the wheel axle exactly. Use your new bone tool, click the dot of the bone to add a new bone. And then with the grow bone tool, lengthen that bone. Arbitrarily, it doesn't matter how long, just long enough, and then rotate that bone in left view so that it is pointing outward, as you see here. Now we need to take our select arrow, select the bone leading down to the wheel, get the new bone tool and click to add a new bone in front view. Use the bone rotate tool. Rotate it so it points towards the next wheel. Use your grow bone tool and grow that bone to the axle of the next wheel exactly. And use your new bone tool to click the dot of that bone to add a new bone. These bones that seem to be sticking out are going to be what controls the wheel. In top view, we need to rotate that bone with the rotate tool. We're going to get it so it points straight down. And then with the grow bone tool, we're going to make the bone longer. Again, it doesn't matter how long. Take the new bone, take the select arrow, select the bone between the two pointing down, add a new bone tool, click the dot of the bone in top view, and then in front view, grow that bone over to the next axle. Again, you want the dot of that bone to be right on the axle in the middle. Now use your new bone tool and click to add a new bone to that one. In top view, once again, bone rotate tool, drag to rotate that bone so that it points straight down. There's a nice view of top view in this slide where you can really see what it should look like with the three bones that are pointing down, and you do want them straight down. You may want to take the eyeball and zoom in with the stretch tool on the eyeball in order to really look and see that they're straight. Always remember to click that arrow next to the eyeball to turn it off. Now take your select arrow, and we want to select the train where there is no bone. So click anywhere on the train that doesn't have a bone, and we're going to hit delete or DEL on your computer keyboard. And then you're going to be left with this weird bone looking thing that looks nothing like a train. But we have to get rid of the full train and put on the individual parts if we want things to be able to move. So the next thing is to start putting the pieces together. Take your select arrow and click the very first bone we made. There's an arrow pointing to it in the image here. Click Build, then Add Object. We want to choose Train Body and click OK. Use your Move tool to position the train body the way that the full train was positioned. That's why I said make sure you note how you positioned it. because you need to get it exactly the way it is so that everything lines up correctly. I should say the way it was, so that everything lines up correctly. Now we got to put the wheels on. So with the select arrow, select one of the bones pointing down in top view. Click build, then add object. Click large wheel and then OK. Use your rotate tool and right mouse button in order to drag. Sorry, I didn't say that well. Use the rotate tool and the right mouse button in order to drag to rotate in left view. Make sure the wheel is positioned correctly in all views. And if it doesn't rotate the right way in left view, use a different view. If you did the bone I did, it should work that way. Now select arrow, select another bone. In this case, I selected the middle one in top view that is pointing down. Click build and then add object. Once again, choose large wheel. Use your rotate tool and again, right mouse button, but this time we're going to do it in top view. Drag to make that wheel come the right direction and try to get it as straight as you can. Then use the move tool if needed to position the wheel in all views. So the center of wheel should be right on the center of the bone. Select arrow, click on the remaining bone pointing down in top view. Click build, then add object. Choose large wheel. Use the rotate tool once again. Rotate with the right mouse button in top view until it's straight and facing the right way. Use your move tool as needed to position in all views. And that adds our 3 wheels. We did not do the back wheels, the little ones. You could do those on your own. You'd have to add more bones to lead to them. I decided not to spend the time on them. So the back wheels do not move at this moment. Hit File Save. And let's test our wheel alignment. We're going to use our select arrow, click on one of the wheel bones, use the bone rotate tool and right click and drag right on the bone to spin it. If the wheels do not rotate evenly, then you may need to straighten out your bone. And you may also need to work on the rotation of the wheel itself. So use your tools, move tools, select tools, and rotate tools to get everything in the right place. Now use your eyeball tool up at the top there, move tool, and then drag the train down so there's more room above it. Use the arrow at the very top to turn off that eyeball tool. Select arrow, select the first bone we added, once again it's pointed to. Click build, then add object, and choose smoke ball and click OK. Now I'm kind of cheating on the smoke balls. You could build bones up to the smokestack and really spin the balls and do things like that with them. But to save time, I've decided just to place them there. So they're attached along with the body is what we're doing. So they won't actually move at all. But you could build a bone structure up to the smokestack and through it and have bones to make those smoke balls spin around if you wanted to. So use the move tool and move that smoke ball up above the smokestack. And you can maybe guess what we're going to do next. We're going to get the select arrow. We're going to select that same bone. The slide will be here in a second. Same bone right there. And we're going to click build, then add object and choose smoke ball and click OK. And we're going to use our move tool to bring it up. This time we're going to position it a little higher and a little farther to the left. So it looks like 2 separate puffs of smoke have come out of the smokestack. And so you can see our train figure is almost done. We've kept it pretty simple with only the large wheels turning. We've got one more smokestack to do. Get your select arrow. Once again, select that first bone we added. Click build, then add object, and choose smoke ball and click OK. Use the move tool to drag it into position. Click file and save, and that will complete our figure. Next week, next part, we will do sequence and theoretically scene mode in order to make those wheels spin and finish our scene with train tracks and ground and sky and everything. When things return to normal, be sure to check out the Newport News Parks Recreation Tourism instructional programs and especially the 3D computer animation classes. Until then, I'm Mr. Jamie. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.